Hey and welcome to Neverwinter with Aragon. So here I'd like to show you how you can get 100% companion bolster with less than 9 million astral diamonds while getting nearly all of the best in slot bonuses that you can use across damage dealer, healer and tank. But there are some very important things to note that I want to cover first. Companions can give you some of the most important bonuses in the game, so it can be vital that you get the right ones rather than just going upgrading anything. But you only need 5 of them, and to get 100% bolster you need 10 companions at Mythic. So what I prioritize you do is work towards getting 5 good ones, and the remaining 5 to get 100% bolster is actually not important at all. Summoning your companion will already give you a good item level boost, and then you're going to have bolster, which will increase that further. But the maximum gain is only 3000 item level. And when you upgrade just 5 of them for these bonuses, you're already going to be gaining like 2000, nearly 500 item level. And so upgrading 5 more companions to Mythic is like terrible value and one of the last things you should do. If you check my upgrade guide from module 29, you can see it's way down the bottom here in terms of priority, as you're only going to gain just over 500 item level for upgrading your last 5 companions to Mythic. Just do not prioritize it. It is not worth it at all for the amount of cost is needed. But sure, we'll take that price into consideration when we want to look at, yes, maxing out our companion page, getting to 100%, so you're done here and can move on to something else. So let's have a look at some examples across DPS, healers and tanks, what sort of companions you should be going for. And one thing to keep in mind is where you're actually getting companions. Most of the time, it's going to be the auction house, because the majority of companions are just drops from dungeons and some events, and so people will post them here and sell them. You can of course get lucky and get a companion you actually need, but the majority of the time the good companions are going to just be super rare drop rate that it'll be very hard to get what you want. Therefore, you end up resorting to needing to either buy from the auction house or from other stores. One of them is the Reaper's Challenge store here. You can purchase legendary account-wide companions via this choice pack, and it's got some great options there for tanks, DPS and healers. We'll cover that again just a little bit later. But additionally, you will have Zen Market sales, which will sell certain companions, certain packs, which will have some of the best ones in the game. Sure, you will have to spend Zen to obtain said companion, but you can use the exchange, you can wait, and I would highly recommend with your companions, be patient to get a good deal and save up for some of the good bonuses, particularly as a damage dealer. These are like pretty massive gains in terms of just raw damage output and then some extra offensive stats. And without these, say even just these 3, you're missing out on like nearly 30% damage, which is just huge compared to somebody who doesn't have these, who's just going to gain some stats instead. So if we look at an example for a damage dealer, these would be like the ones I would go for. Just be aware of, say, the Book Imp and the Alchemist. If you want to play a lot of different classes, it can be very good value to try and go for the Golden Cat. 3 million is actually a pretty good bargain. It's like worth 1 million per character, and so if you're going to at least play 3 different damage dealer classes, you're getting your money's worth out of that compared to getting something else. Because again, the alternatively would be to get a Book Imp or an Alchemist on every single character and then go and upgrade it, which is going to cost you over 700,000 astral diamonds, nearly 800,000. It's also going to depend on the market and how well that fluctuates and differs from the prices I grabbed here at the time. Just again, don't overpay with this. I wouldn't spend much more than 3 million, but if you want to play a lot of characters, it's worth it because you don't even have to upgrade it on your alternate characters then. It's just a straight one cost and you have it for all of them. But the rest here, like the Batiri, the Neverwinter Knight, Minsk, Tamed Velociraptor. You ideally want to get those on account-wide versions. And for like the Batiri and the Tamed Velociraptor, we have a cost of 0 AD there. And that is just because you can play the game and get them without needing to spend a penny. And again, that's just through doing the Reaper's Challenge, getting those Reaper marks, and then spending them at the store here to purchase these legendary packs. And you already get them at account wide, which is huge value. Highly recommend, again, if you want to play alternate characters. Just be aware though of the value of those Reaper marks, because you could be spending those on legendary insignias and say selling them. You would get say 6 of them, or you could be spending them on trade bars and then getting more upgrade tokens with those trade bars, and that would value like nearly 1 million worth there at 30 Reaper marks. And so yeah, you need to put that in consideration. But again, if you're going to play multiple characters, it's very well worth just getting it here. You can of course look on the auction house, get it maybe cheaper for if you just were going to play one character. But then of course there would be a cost here. You'd probably have to spend more tokens because you'd get the Batiri on like green, the Tamed Raptor probably on purple. But yeah, then we have a look at say the Neverwinter Knight, Minsk, the Spine Devil. Those companions come on like epic, and they're much harder to obtain. If you look on the price right now on the auction house for say the Neverwinter Knight, you'll see it's like above 2 million. And I would recommend you just be patient. This price will go down at a certain time when they come out with a sale. You can see they come out with a pack. It's got your Minsk, it's got your Neverwinter Knight, it's even got your Tutor and Spine Devil as well, along with giving you some extra upgrade tokens. So if we take the value of those upgrade tokens and then what's left to be the value of the companion, convert that to Astral Diamonds via the exchange, you'll find that as per my sheet, you'd be spending about 780,000 Astral Diamonds to obtain it. And sure, you'd spend an awful lot more than that on the auction house right now, because that sale has been quite a while, and the only real way to obtain those right now is through an absolute ton of trade bars right here, which I don't really recommend. You can let other people spend their trade bars, which they don't know what else to do with, and then sell on the auction house for cheaper. Again, highly recommend just being patient, wait for a good sale when they are released again. Otherwise, you're just paying a much higher premium price to get it right now. So yeah, you're looking at probably a max value of 8.6 million Astral Diamonds at a good deal to get 100% companion bolster with some very good bonuses there as a damage dealer. Just be aware you can go with the bare minimum and spend like half that amount of Astral Diamonds, 4.5 million, and you got pretty much the best setup there for those boss fights where your damage is the most important. You can optimize a little bit for multi-target by getting the Spine Devil and Face Spider, and just wouldn't worry about the other ones that all they're going to do is provide a teeny bit of item level with the Bolster. Be aware the costs are extrapolated based on the Astral Lockbox. That costs the amount of average trade bars and then buying the tokens with those trade bars during a discount event. If we switch to say a healer, it's going to be like this. You want to be getting say the Tamed Velociraptor. You'll already have it on Legendary if you were playing a damage dealer and got that through the Reaper's Challenge pack. The Alpha Compy is also in that Reaper's Challenge pack, so be sure to grab that there. Very useful again, even on some damage dealers and just all of the healers. And then you want to be getting say the Deep Crow Hatchling. You can buy that from the auction house. The Quickling as well is very good. And then like the Pink Yeti or the Golden Boulette. Just be aware that Pink Yeti, it is also a Zen market sale. And we don't know when it will come around again, but I'm sure it will. And you can buy it, and it's 2,400 Zen there for the bundle, where you get a bunch of other items that you can sell for some Astral Diamonds too to offset some of those costs. But yeah, it's the most expensive thing for a healer, particularly if you wanted to say get the Golden Boulette instead. That will already be at Mythic, but I wouldn't really spend more than 3 million for it. it's a bit crazy to spend 6 million on that just for a healer where you're not desperately needing it. And then yeah, you'll need 10 companions to get 100% bolster, so you can upgrade any of them here. Just be aware of the different useful ones that can be used to support your team, like all of these. Again, going with the bare minimum on healer, you'd still spend about 5.6 million to obtain those. That is if you can get, say, the Pink Yeti or Golden Bullet at the bare minimum. I will say it's not that important to get the best ones as a healer. Like, you can get by without the best stuff just fine. And so you can get much cheaper alternatives to use that will still give you boosts to your healing. Then going to tanks, you see that here as well, and probably the most expensive one and hardest to obtain is the Lich. As far as I'm aware, they don't actually have a Zen sale for it. It has come around in a lot of the previous battle passes, so in all likelihood, if you've played this game a bit, you have him as a result of completing one of those. But yeah, he's currently available for trade bars, awfully expensive. I would not go for him. That's just far too much trade bars for a companion that's not even going to be account wide. Just be patient. You'll get an account wide version, which is again on Epic, and you can get that for all the tanks if you want to play them. It is like the best bonus though for tanks with the damage resistance. There's no other like it, at least that reliable. Then there's like ones like War Dog, Frost Mimic, Harper Bard, Tame Velociraptor, all pretty good on tank there. You can see different equip bonuses you can get here as well. You don't have to get those exact ones. You can look around for yourself and you can see what people use in their builds, because yeah, you have to be aware of that just because I show these specific ones in this like lists, it doesn't mean that those are going to be what people will use always to optimize in endgame. Sometimes you might want the Book Imp, sometimes you might want the Alchemist on, say, a damage dealer, or you might want something instead of the Tamed Velociraptor if you're not within a group that's using it. Same for healers. There's actually quite a lot of different options depending on what stats you need. Maybe you need some crit strike or crit severity. You might need a different companion. I do have like a bunch of different ones listed here. And then for tanks as well, it's not a must-have to have exactly what I've listed. There's a whole load of different ones that give you boosts to the stats you need, and you can just mix and match for yourself. It's generally not that important on tanks specifically because min-maxing is not that vital. You're not trying to squeeze out like a damage dealer the most optimal amount of damage output, and as a tank you generally don't need the most optimal amount of damage resistance or defensive stats. You can just play the mechanics a bit more smartly. You can have a more like optimized healer who's good at timing, and you'll get by just fine. But as an example, just here I have a character, no companions, nothing. We have these 10 different ones like we showed as if I was a damage dealer. We'll go and equip all 10 of these and we'll already see how much bolster we have and then how much, say, upgrade tokens we'll need to max out everything. We're just having like some purple filler ones here that might be account wide ones you already have in your account, but yeah, just be aware, like that gives us achievement first 10 companions done. If we summon one of them, say on legendary, you can see we're already at 36% bolster and we're already gaining 1500 item level through our companions, which is like halfway there to the maximum amount of 3000. So I would just not recommend trying to push for more specifically. You can just upgrade these bonuses. Now we do have to level up to actually unlock all of the slots, which is funny, but in order to upgrade these companions, you can see you can either spend Astral Diamonds or you can spend upgrade tokens, and it's always recommended to spend these upgrade tokens. And right now the best way is to get trade bars, and so you need to open lock boxes. If you don't have enchanted keys, you can purchase astral lock boxes. each one will guaranteed always give you these trade bars. You can see right there. And so this is like one of the best ways to do it, particularly as a free-to-play player. Alternatively, just purchase VIP. Every day you get a key, and then you'll open those lockboxes and get trade bars too. And as we showed on each of these lists here, for healers to get as many upgrade tokens as 2,610, you would need like 111 astral lockboxes, or for damage dealers 104 here to get again all of those tokens required, because as per the sale right now, you're spending those trade bars right here to purchase those tokens. Every 2 trade bars is an upgrade token, and this is like the best value there with this event in order to get character progress. So be sure you're taking advantage of that and that you're aware of this, and make sure to be patient. If you miss out on this event, wait for the next one. Save those trade bars. It's vital you do so. And then, yeah, you can get all of those companions upgraded as needed. And as again I showed on these lists, I do highly recommend these companions for damage dealers, these ones for healers, and like these ones for tanks. But of course, not all of them are a must-have. I mean, as a damage dealer, there's not really an alternative to the Batiri or the Knight or Minsk. Those 3 are like, yeah, no question, every damage dealer uses them, and the only alternatives then is, say, like Tamed Velociraptor if you're in a Tamed Velociraptor group or not, and then like the Book Imp, Alchemist, Golden Cat, different utility companions you can use there in that slot just to give you stats. There are, of course, some magnitude ones like the Stalwart Lion, but their bonuses are pretty abysmal. Overall, I hope this helps and gives you some insight with regards to companions, upgrading them. And I just would not recommend bothering so much with regards to getting the last 10. Just get your first 5 so that they populate these slots, and do not worry about upgrading the latter 5 just to get 100% Bolster. You'll find yourself later on in the game upgrading a companion just to have it summoned. Like Xune here is great, but her bonus is not that great, so we generally wouldn't use it. It's actually alright though to begin, especially if you use a lot of at-wills, but I would definitely recommend switching out to the Neverwinter Knight. There's no question there, it's just a raw damage boost. And throughout the game you'll eventually upgrade more companions, and you'll eventually get 100% Bolster, which again is not going to be an awful lot of extra item level gained via that, because the pinnacle is 3000 item level, which item level is meaningless if you're just running scaled content, which is the majority of stuff here, unless you're going into mastered like dungeons and trials. So thanks for watching. A special thank you to all these channel members, and we'll see you guys around. Goodbye for now.